3, 2, 1.
This is the Mac Media Show.
Welcome to the Mac Media Show, everyone. My name is Mac.
And I'm Ree.
And this is the Me and Ree Review Show. We are the two that review for you.
Yes, we are.
This is $1 Million Listing New York, Season 6, Episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
We review the show every week. We're getting interviews with the cast members. We're going to talk to them about the stuff behind the scenes. Follow us at McKinnon Maddox on Twitter. There's about 47,000 $1 Million Listing fans there. And use the hashtag MDLNY to talk about our show. This is really cool. This was a good episode. We actually saw Steve. If you haven't watched the episode, it's on Bravo. You need to go look at it and watch it. It's on Thursday nights at 9, 8 Central. Is that right?
Yes.
Think so?
Yes.
If you haven't seen it,
Central.
you need to watch that before you listen to our podcast. You can also go to bravotv.com and put in your cable provider information, and you can watch it online.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you haven't seen it yet, we'll talk you through the show if you don't mind spoilers. But here we go. Steve Gold finally did something this week.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
He was interesting, wasn't he?
Steve's the man. First
was
of all,
interesting.
I want Steve on the show. Don't you want Steve?
Oh, yeah. He's very, he makes you feel like he's very down to earth.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Steve comes on our show. Mm-hmm. We've got him on the phone. Mm-hmm. We're talking to Steve. Mm-hmm. What's the first question you ask him? Let's say you have one question to ask Steve Gold. One question. You have only one.
He's talked about he's been in real estate. Let's see. I would ask him if he thought that the way he dresses as compared to the other two in the show, does that have a negative effect or positive effect in his mind, or does he even care?
That is the one question that you have a burning desire to ask. Huh?
I do, because did you notice what he had on this time?
Yeah.
It looked like a sweater that was almost too little for him. It's funny. He looks like he gets up, whatever's in the closet or on the floor, he puts it on and he goes to see a client. He just kind of looks that way. I know that's not it. I'm sure he smells good and all that, but he just looks like he rolls out of the bed and goes to see clients.
I tell you what, you better be careful.
Why?
Because when I have Steve on the show, I'm going to tell him you said that.
No, I would tell him. I would say I think that's very impressive because evidently it's working. He said he did $100 million last year. It's evidently working. It would just be interesting to know if the sales are coming from his past being a model, working with him, that kind of thing. So they look at him as being maybe a little eccentric, a little individualistic versus, because most realtors are dressed. They're dressed nice. They're trying to make a good impression, that kind of stuff. It's interesting the way he's a little different.
Good question.
Think of all the shows we've been on. Mm-hmm. Even San Francisco, they dressed up. Everybody wore a suit. This is really different. Miami, they wore suits.
Good question.
Yeah, I would like to know because he's really cutting a different trail here. Of course, I'm sure there's a million people in New York that dress like he does, that sell real estate. But anyway, that would be my question.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to get Steve on the show. Dana, what was her name? Dana something. He kept tweeting.
Oh, yeah, she's an interior designer.
Instagramming this week. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, he kept tagging her.
I'm so happy for Steve. He finally got this property with Ian. He got a deal made. Mm-hmm. And what did they end up taking? 8 with the changes?
8. Mm-hmm.
8 with the changes.
And they will put a fireplace in. And they said $60,000 for a fireplace. Wow, I didn't know they cost that much.
That's a ventless fireplace, too.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be made out of the ornate stone from Africa or something. I can't imagine $60,000 on a fireplace insert.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
However, nice place.
It was.
Sold for $8 million.
Yeah, he finally got it sold.
Yeah, good.
Well, he did reduce the price. Ian did come in and reduce it to $8,250, I think.
Yeah, and he started at 9. He was a little high.
But you know what? He did tell him. He said, "Remember, I told you it's not worth more than 8."
Which I'm glad.
And they repeated it. They showed where he had told him that originally. So I agree with him. When the agent tells you that and you're getting that at the end, you kind of need to look at yourself.
Well, Steve did the right thing. You have to tell him. You have to remind him and say, "Look, I told you this was going to be the price. You got to take it."
Exactly.
But he had a debacle with these people, man. They had a list of changes, and it was a mess. But ends up, the guy really wanted it.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. He said they had options, but they didn't walk.
I was fixing to say they kind of kept hanging around, but
maybe they didn't have many options.
Yeah. I would think in New York you had a lot of options.
I would think a bunch downtown. Everybody's got to be priced around the same. I don't know. Ryan Serhant this week.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, he sold one of the properties on in Brooklyn. Was it Brooklyn?
One of the two?
No, wait, those aren't in Brooklyn, are they?
Oh, hold
The
it.
two
Okay,
houses-
hold it. He took David's off the market, first of all.
Well, he did, but he sold the other one
He sold the other last week, correct.
last week.
Yep.
I thought that was
Yeah, this one he
tonight.
just Ryan had a
Oh,
bad
he
week.
sold that last week. Okay, I thought that was this week.
Yeah, Ryan had a disappointing week. Dave, is that the right move to take that thing off the property? I mean, off the market?
You know what? In my opinion, I think since he sold the other one, you got a little motivation there. This one had an elevator, had an outdoor space. It had different things that could up the price a little bit. But if the guy had come down, what was he asking for that one? 11.5? I can't remember anyway. If he had said, okay, let's go with 10.999. I think he could have gotten rid of that one too. I think it was wrong to take it off because you had the momentum of the other one had
Sounds like-
sold.
You're right.
I mean, that's my opinion. I'm no expert, but
Well, 10.9 from the perception, it seems it's not 2 million above the
right.
other.
And because they were different properties, his was 17 feet across. The other one was 20, but he did have elevator. He had outdoor space. He had different, added things that the other one didn't have. So I think it even had a little bit of a backyard, which the other one didn't have.
Right.
So I don't think there was enough difference there. If he'd just come down a little, I think he could have sold it. And I think the momentum of the one that just sold, I think would have been advantageous for him. I think taking it off is completely. I don't understand that one because you're not going to have it. I guess what he's thinking in his mind, I want to take it off completely. So when we bring it back, whenever he brings it back, it's like it's the only one on the block. So we can ask a higher price, but he's got to be in the real world and say there's not that many people that want to buy this kind of property. Mm-hmm. It's like Ryan said, the one that wanted to buy it died on the Titanic, So there are just a few people that want those kind of things. So you're narrowing your market. I don't think I would have taken it off. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think David got frustrated with that second property. In his mind, whether it's true or not, I think he believed that...
You're right. In his mind, he thought it was competitive.
I lost my train of thought.
Ryan didn't.
You finished my point. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt
you cut in on me.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But I think he thought Ryan was putting more time on the other one than he was on his. That didn't have anything to do with it. Ryan wants to sell both of them. So, but I think when he thought Ryan brought people into his, instead of it being the only one on the market and talking them into it,
right?
He said, oh, but I have this other one down the street that's wider and is less money.
Which is the problem. David's correct, when you give him an option.
How would you have felt about it if you owned it?
I felt like, wow, this sucks. I have a second property that's basically the same place without an elevator for $2 million less. Mm-hmm. That's bad timing. I put it on the market and this thing comes on the market at the same time. That's how I feel.
No, I mean, as an owner, would you feel neglected?
That's the way I feel. Yeah, I mean, it's not Ryan's fault. Has nothing to do with Ryan or that he has two listings on that street. Let me finish my point.
I don't understand that.
I would not be upset with Ryan at all, right? Because it's not his fault. Somebody else is going to sell that property.
It's not really his fault, but if you have David's listed and you're the owner, and then Ryan says, "Oh, well, I have this other one," he's not pushing the one by saying, "Just make an offer here."
But somebody else is going to sell that place if Ryan didn't take it. So you're still going to have two of the same places on the market at the same time.
I don't know, psychologically.
Problem is for David, two of the same, basically the same place came on the market without an elevator at the same time. Doesn't matter who took the listing. It's just the fact it came on the market. Okay? That's the problem. It's an alternative. They don't want to, they're not, he wants a high price for his property. No give in that price. Okay? The other it's the opposite. $9 million, $2 million less. You get a same place without an elevator and a few other different things. It's just unfortunate timing. Somebody's going to sell that place, but it's whether it's Ryan or not. So it's not Ryan's fault. So David's thinking, okay, I'm going to take it off the market, give it some time until nothing else is on the market. So there's nothing to compete with it.
Well, I wouldn't.
Next time he puts it back on the market, hopefully there's not going to be anything on that street that's available, and so they'll be forced to look at his deal a little bit stronger.
You think about it this way, Ryan, if he had David's listed and another realtor had the other one listed, Ryan's going to push this listing against the other one. He's not going to take somebody down the street and show it to them. You see what I'm saying? He's going to push harder.
Okay.
Because he has it listed.
I mean, I see that
He's
point,
going to
too.
make more money doing that. But when he's got 2, I see what David's thinking. And I understand it.
So you believe that if Ryan gets a buyer in there that says, I don't want to pay this much, and I'm okay without an elevator, even if he doesn't have that second listing, he's not going to take him down the street to show him that?
I think he's going to try to upsell the one he's in because he has the listing. That's
don't
what you
think
do
so.
as a realtor. I think he is. I think
think-
he's going to say, we could do this or we could do that on this property. You've got the backyard. You've got these other things besides an elevator. You see what I'm saying? He would try to
Okay.
upsell
Well,
David.
I mean, there could be a partial conflict of
Before he
interest.
just walks down the street and gets half the commission.
Right.
He gets full commission on both of these, so it doesn't matter. I see where David's coming from as an agent. I see that.
Maybe.
But anyway, okay, that's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's how I feel. I feel more strongly about it. The problem's going to be ultimately the price. I don't care if Ryan doesn't take him down the street. They're going to look at both of them. You've got 2 places, one for 9, one for 11, both on the same street. A buyer comes in there, sees the property with Ryan. Okay, it's $11.5 million. Okay, I'm going to go see the other one. Okay, regardless of who's listing it. And if their goal is to pay less and skip an elevator, they're going to buy it. So, I mean, it's just, I think ultimately it's unfortunate timing that both properties came on the market at the same time. That's my opinion.
Maybe so.
All right. Okay. Agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. No problem. My feelings are hurt a little bit. I think you should agree with me.
Well, you're too sensitive then.
No. Take it back. My feelings aren't hurt. All right.
Yeah.
Fredrik got a big building. I think this is Fredrik's.
Oh, he did. He sure did.
I think this is the biggest project in his entire career.
Madison Square Park.
Which
man.
I think they should have played up more. I mean,
Why?
the
It was played up
producers
a
should have
lot.
made a point to say this is the best thing in the entire city of New York. This is the biggest project Fredrik's ever worked on. They just kind of jumped right into it, and I thought, wow, no build up for that.
Well, he got $400 million and 8 floors. I think that's pretty awesome.
8 full floor apartments overlooking the city in the highest building
Unbelievable.
in the neighborhood.
Yeah, unbelievable.
When I-
65 stories of glass.
When I visited New York a couple years ago, I saw this building in construction, and I looked and I thought, wow, that is the biggest structure I've ever seen. I mean, it was the tallest. Clearly, it was the tallest building that I could find. And I thought about it ran through my head. I thought, Fredrik and Ryan and all, they're going to be competing to sell those things in that building. And it turns out Fredrik got the entire top section of that building. $400 million.
Yeah, can you believe that? I thought it was interesting. It's small at the bottom and it widens as you go up, which is weird, isn't it? That's just, it seems like it wouldn't hold it up.
What do you think about weather and storms?
know.
The building moving.
I don't know. I've always heard that they make them so that they do move. I've never lived in one, but I've always heard that so that they don't crack under pressure. It gives but I can't imagine it being smaller at the bottom. You'd have to really have that thing stabilized, I would think. I don't know. Those kind of living, that kind of living is kind of scary to me. I don't know. It's way up there. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I would love to go visit it. I would love to go in and look around and see how I would feel that high up in a bathtub looking out the window. That would be nice. Every day you get up and go in there and soak in the tub and read and look out the window and stuff. It would be awesome.
Pretty wild.
I just wonder how much of that came from Howard Lorber. Maybe knew this guy, pushed it, that kind of stuff. Or he just came out of the blue and wanted
I don't believe
Fredrik
it.
to do it. I don't, because didn't we say Ryan did more business last year than Fredrik?
Maybe that was this year, or I think it may have been last year. I don't know. But,
So I wonder why he didn't go after Ryan.
well, I think what happened was Howard has been targeting
I'm
this
thinking.
guy for a long time.
what I'm thinking.
He mentioned it. Howard said, I've been at the open house party,
Yeah.
or I guess that's what he did, a
Yeah, he
big
did an
party.
open
It was a
house,
launch
yeah.
party.
Yeah.
He said to Fredrik, Howard was there, and he pulled him aside, and he said, don't blow this. I've been working on this building for a long time. And what he meant by that was trying to get the guy to, use Douglas Elliman, I think.
Yeah.
Let us sell the top portion. So, yeah, Fredrik definitely was just kind of handed that project from Howard. I think Howard must think he's the best agent. He's got TV. He's
Yeah.
got the personality.
Yeah, I see that.
I'm going to give it to Fredrik. And, he's got the star power. Fredrik is the most well-known broker in New York.
Yeah,
The
I can
entire
imagine. Yeah.
because he goes on the Today Show and he does, and seeing Ryan and then Luis and now Steve Gold, a little on the Today Show is a little different than seeing Fredrik. Fredrik's got the book. He's got the look.
That's true.
He's got the international. He's got personality. And he's a yay, and that goes a long way in TV too. Seems like.
That's true.
So I think
Everything combined.
I think he's the best pick, just because of who he is. He's great. He's very talented.
Well, getting it on TV really gets it out there.
Well, if you go to YouTube and you type in Fredrik Eklund, his top video there is a Today Show clip of him taking one of the anchors from the Today Show into the $20 million apartment in that building. Wow. And it was actually posted 4 months ago, and it was completely finished and furnished. And so that kind of shows you how
Well,
far
we're way
back.
behind. We're 6 months behind.
It's about 6 months.
Yeah.
So isn't that interesting to see the timeline?
It really is. It's it's interesting when he went up in the helicopter too. I thought that was cool and put his sock in it.
Don't you think he's a
That's cool.
genius?
He's a good salesman.
I mean,
He's
he
a good
thinks
salesman
on the
all the way
fly
around.
so
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
He goes up there and he thinks out of all the,
Mm-hmm.
he's trying to get the video right and he's talking to the guys filming and he decides to take his shoe off and do a social media post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's awesome.
It's just genius. He's
Yeah.
always thinking sales.
I think it's awesome. Yeah, I mean that's why he's number one, I guess, because he's
just think-
always pushing it.
Genius. He's always on. When he goes to get a haircut, he's probably meeting people.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
wow.
That's right. That's right.
We could all do better.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he uses his opportunities, to meet people, and I think he's just a genuine, outgoing person anyway. I think if he goes to get a haircut, he's going to be friendly and all of that. But when you combine who he is and what he's done, and I think it makes a big difference.
He just seems to me like he is. He just floats in sales. Like he just loves it.
Does seem like he gets a lot of easy ones. We used to say that Luis would have such a hard time. Some of them would back out. Some of them would quit. So, and it seemed like Fredrik kind of got. Maybe we just don't see the ones Fredrik loses. I'm sure he doesn't get them all.
Ryan had a tough week. I hate that for Ryan.
Yeah, he.
It's disappointing when you're talking to your client like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And David decides to take it off the market, and you don't know if David's going to relist it with him.
yeah.
He's probably taking it off the market so he can get another agent. He's mad at Ryan. Who knows what these people get in their heads.
I don't know. I know he was disappointed in Ryan though. I know he was.
Yeah, you get the same agent that takes 2 listings, and
Yeah, and he sells the other one and doesn't sell yours. So it's just the way it looks.
I mean, I kind of agree with you.
I understand both sides, my side and your side, from a seller's perspective.
That was a tough deal.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't not take that second listing.
Yeah.
You have to.
He said he lost $9,000 in marketing costs when
Yeah.
he took it off. Mm-hmm. Wow, they spend big bucks, don't they?
$9,000, yeah.
Man, well,
Pretty
they make
great.
big bucks.
It seems like they spend $8,000 to $12,000
Yeah, I think
every single listing. Because I saw Steve Gold
Right.
lost
Did those
$11,000.
renderings. Yeah, I did those renderings. Yeah, I went on Ian's building.
So it looks like for these, $8, $9, $10 million places, they spend about $10,000 in marketing. I guess it's listing them, in magazines or wherever they
Right.
pay for
Well,
advertising.
those big renderings, did you see how big those things were? That he was hauling in there, and he said, I've spent all this money, and now he's putting me on another one.
Yeah, he prints them on canvas and all.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
pretty
that thing
cool.
was huge.
It's really neat.
Yeah, it's nice. What'd you think about Ryan and his friend, his brother's friend coming from?
The fat Jew. By the way, that's a real man.
I don't know who he is. I don't follow him. But his brother was from Boston, right? And he was wanting to move to New York. That was kind of interesting that he brought him with him. What does the fat Jew do? Who is he? I mean, is he a comedian? Is he?
I don't know how
what
much
does
he
do?
contributes to society. I don't know much about him. I can't say, but
Does he just have a YouTube thing where he does?
if you
dumb
Google
things?
him, he's got 1,000,000-something followers on Instagram. I don't know what he does.
Does he do stupid pet tricks, or what does he do?
It just looked to me like little stupid meme things. I mean, to each his own. I don't.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm not interested. in that kind of
I
stuff.
looked him up on Instagram and didn't really see much about him. It was like just funny things for teenagers to kind of share around, and
We better be careful because this day and age, he might offend somebody being called fat Jew.
Oh, good.
You know how everybody has a fit.
You think he's concerned about offending someone?
Well, you never know. You never know. And I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about somebody else bringing it up. Somebody else bringing it up.
I don't know.
And
I don't know much about him. I had to do some research, but I might like him.
yeah, I don't know anything about him either. I'd love to see what he looked like before he did what he did to himself. Whatever that thing was on his head.
Oh, yeah. He had quite a haircut.
That was weird, wasn't it?
I might end up liking him if I look him up. I don't want to judge, man.
Well, he was kind of critical, too. Sounds like he's going to be kind of hard to please with this, friend of...
I don't know. Well, those are my thoughts. Do you have any other thoughts?
Thought
it was a good week. We talked about Ryan. We talked about Steve. Talked about Fredrik.
I wanted to talk about the preview for next week. I think it was on Kenmare. Did you ever look up Kenmare?
I did.
It's a nice unit. I was watching Andy Cohen, and Lenny Kravitz's daughter was on there. I forgot what her name is. But anyway, she was on there, and they were talking about it, and she said, yes, I was so disappointed because my dad and his team went in and decorated this place, and I wanted an apartment in there, and I couldn't even get one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She said, I think you should have put it in the contract. If I do all this, my daughter gets an apartment.
Wow.
But she said, I would have loved to have lived in it. And
75 Kenmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see next week. Very exclusive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Seems like it.
Yeah, if you're listening, you can Google 75 Kenmare, and that's going to be Fredrik's property next week. It's a building. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really nice.
So that's going to be Fredrik's?
I think.
So Steve's not
getting
part of it?
Steve was trying to get into the building.
So is he trying to get in there to list it or live there?
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, we didn't know. They didn't tell.
I'm thinking he wants to list some of the apartments in the building, and he's got to go to Fredrik to get him onto the project,
Okay.
But I may be wrong. Maybe he wants to live there.
Yeah, they didn't give us a whole lot of teaser on that.
That doesn't look like a place Steve Gold would want to live to me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, hey, it was interesting. You told me 2 weeks ago, whatever, that the associate producer had written something about our show.
Yeah, Nick Prescott watches our show.
Yeah, and said it was one of the best podcasts.
Well, Nick said Nick is a producer of the show, so he writes and he directs and he films it and works with Fredrik on them. He watches the podcast and said it was the best podcast ever, and that he wanted to be on it.
Oh, that's right. We do need to get him on it too.
So Nick, there's a number there, buddy.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Come on the show.
That's a good idea. I wonder if he and Steve would come on together. It would be interesting to do them separately because I would like to ask him some questions about behind the scenes stuff.
Well, what we need to do is,
need to do that.
Instagram and tweet Dana.
Yeah, let's do.
And Fredrik and Steve and everybody.
Dana.
Yeah, the interior director. It'd be fun to talk to Dana and say, have you worked with Steve before?
Well,
how's Steve?
So. Yeah.
Do you like Steve?
Do that. Okay.
Do you find Steve attractive? Ask her the
That's kind of interesting.
Good questions.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
all right.
That'd be fun. Okay.
All right.
Good episode, though.
That was good. I'm looking forward to next week's episode.
Me too.
In the meantime, we need to do some social media.
Oh, you know something they're not doing? They're not showing Amelia this season at all.
One episode.
She was in there a lot. Maybe that's why they're not, because she was in there a lot last year with the wedding, and I'm sure she doesn't care.
She's ratings, man.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's funny they hadn't shown her at all.
I can't wait to see Luis.
Yeah, I don't know what episode he's coming in, but that's going to be interesting.
He did a nice thing going to France and enjoying a year. It's good. Good for him.
I wonder what he's doing now.
I need to look him up.
If he's working or what he's doing. I wonder if he's doing any kind of realty stuff over there.
I don't know.
Interesting.
He's got a nice place, though.
Yeah. Does he really? Oh, you seen it?
Yeah. I'll have to show you.
He's renting it, though.
It's very nice.
Is he renting it?
I don't know. I think so, yeah.
Well, he did a good thing. I guess while he had his momentum and he had his money and he didn't have a big family, he had to move around. It was a good time to try some things.
Just pop over to France.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, he may want to stay there forever.
Yeah.
I wonder if he knows the language or he's learning it.
Yeah, he's working on his French, yeah.
I guess you would learn it more by just being there. You go order stuff. You learn different words. He'll probably be fluent in Spanish and English.
He'll now have 3.
Spanish, English, and French.
That's correct. 3 languages.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right.
Good episode.
Very good.
Yeah.
Ree, thanks for being here.
I enjoyed it, Mac.
That was a good show.
Really good. Really good.
All right. Until next week, this has been Mac.
And Ree.
Keep it all biz.
See you on the podcast.